Expert. We've got Joey Livingston in the house with Colorado Parks and Wildlife. As always, Joey, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
Joey, you mentioned this to us last week. We were talking about all the elk attacks that have been happening in Estes Park. And then last week we saw a pregnant woman was attacked by a deer here locally. And you said this is the time of year we need to watch for those mama deer around their fawn.
Yeah,
that incident.
Yeah, so this deer did get aggressive towards her. Didn't make physical contact with her, so fortunately no one was injured. But she came into her backyard and saw her dogs were getting stomped by this deer. And so she went after the deer. The deer turned its aggression towards her, started charging towards her. And then her father came out and first shot the deer with rubber buckshot. Wasn't enough to deter that aggressive behavior. Ended up shooting and killing that deer. Was justified in doing so because we do allow folks to defend themselves from wildlife if they are a threat. But yeah, like you said, I was warning last week that those deer do have their babies right now here in Colorado Springs. The female deer will get extra aggressive, usually towards dogs. So most of the time when we see an incident like this, there's dogs involved in some way. Those deer see dogs as a natural predator, like a coyote. And so they'll get extra aggressive to defend their young against those dogs, which is what we saw in this scenario.
I'm glad that woman's okay too.
Yes.
That's a huge message for pet owners out there. Next topic, this little guy right here. So I had no clue these were in Colorado. The Texas horned lizards. And something unique fact about them. They spit blood from their eyes. I'm sorry if you're like eating breakfast right now, but why?
Yeah, I think maybe fortunately we don't have a video of that here, but they can shoot blood from their eye up to 4 feet, and they shoot it at predators. And so they primarily eat ants, and the acid from the ants gets into their blood. It creates kind of a pepper spray that they can use to defend themselves. But we do have them here in Colorado, primarily down in the southeast corner of Colorado.
So not in our area, probably won't see them around El Paso County.
Most likely not. Yeah.
That is so cool.
I don't need to see that thing. All right, last topic. CPW, you showed some cool some photos that you got of wildlife showing off. It was set up to catch a lynx, but what advice do you have for folks who want to set up like a game camera and get wildlife pictures?
Yeah, I think this segment's kind of an excuse to show off some of these,
I'm like so
pictures.
Distracted looking at all those animals.
Yeah, but you know what we see a lot is ring cameras act as game cameras a lot in urban areas now. A lot of videos being caught of animals that way. But if you're setting up a game camera in the woods, make sure that you're angling that camera correctly. Watch where the sun's at too, so you're not getting the sun right in there. But the big thing is try to find game trails. So that's trails that a lot of wildlife will use. Most wildlife are trying to find the easiest path to get from point A to point B, so they'll usually use those paths. You can also look for food sources or water sources. Typically, a lot of animals will use some of those same food and water sources. So
awesome. And if you get great pics or video, send them our way. We'll bring them before the expert. I got to say, one of our reporters, our sports reporter Corey, he got video of a beaver, and I wanted to share that today. But he's like, I've never seen a beaver in the wild in Colorado Springs. Stuff like that, send it our way so we can bring it to the expert right here, Joey Livingston. But if you want more info from CPW, I made it easy. Hit up our website, kktv.com, click the Find It tab. I've got their website there. As always, Joey, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Joey.
We'll be right back.